How's everyone doing today? Welcome back to Chefing with Shane. Today, we're making a delicious, creamy, cheesy mac and cheese with a delicious, crunchy, rich cracker top. Guys, this recipe is amazing. It's a real hit, and this is highly requested. Finally coming through with it. Stick with me, and let's make it together. The first step in making this mac and cheese is getting some water in a pot. We're gonna get these elbow macaroni noodles up to boil. Up to a boil, we're gonna throw this 1 pound of elbow macaroni noodles in there. I've salted the water a little bit, just a couple teaspoons of salt in there. And we're just gonna let that boil for 6 to 8 minutes until al dente. All right guys, at this point, yes, we are shredding our own cheese. It always melts better if you shred your own cheese versus buying store-bought. And so we're gonna shred our own cheese. I'm using 2 cups of Monterey Jack, 4 cups of medium cheddar. Now you can use any combination of cheese you want, Gruyere, you can use sharp cheddar instead of medium cheddar. There's plenty of combinations out there. However, I'm gonna shred this cheese up. Not gonna make you watch me shred up 6 cups of cheese, but you can imagine it's gonna be me shredding cheese for probably the next 10 minutes. Monterey Jack done. Now it's time to do the medium cheddar. And we're just gonna shred this whole block up. I only used about half the other block, but I think you can freeze cheese first too. I think it makes it easier. Unfortunately, I didn't do that, but it makes it easier. Or like they make KitchenAid attachments, or I'm sure they make like some type of home gadget for just shredding cheese. I don't shred cheese that often, so that's why I don't have one. But anyways, we're just gonna shred up 4 cups of medium cheddar, and I'll get back with you guys after that. Okay, now we're gonna start making this cheese sauce. I went ahead and drained off the noodles. Went ahead and combined the cheeses. So put them in one bowl, and then I separated 3 cups from that because we're gonna use about half of that cheese in the sauce. So I'm gonna let 1 whole stick of butter melt down in here. All right, now our 1 stick of butter is all melted up. We're gonna go in there with half a cup of flour. And guys, you know what they say, every good recipe starts with a whole stick of melted butter. We're making a nice roux. It's the base to any cheesy sauce. Just gonna whisk this constantly, trying to get all that flour, all that white out of there. Starts to get thicker. Shouldn't take long, maybe a minute, as long as you just constantly whisk, get all that flour out of there. This is a thickening agent, similar to cornstarch. Very common one. Next, I have 2.5 cups of half and half, and we're just gonna whisk this in. Slowly. There's our half and half, and we're gonna whisk this for a minute or 2 while it waits and thickens. We're just gonna keep whisking until we get to this consistency. Nice and smooth, so much thicker than before. It was just really watery. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in with 1.5 cups of whole milk, and we're gonna whisk that in some more. Be careful, maybe use a bigger pan than I did. It'll thicken up though. All right guys, we're gonna whisk this until it's as thick as a Southern accent, and it's getting there, getting thicker. And we're just gonna keep whisking it, and then we're pretty much just gonna be adding the cheese in, a little bit of seasonings, and that'll be it. All right, at this point, just gonna go in with about a half teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon black pepper, and a 1/4 teaspoon paprika. Gonna whisk that up. And that is right where we want it. So we're gonna go grab our cheese. We got all 3 cups here of cheese. Just gonna add about half of that. Whisk that up. And then just gonna add the rest of it, and my God, guys, this is looking perfect. Exactly how we want it. Paprika's gonna add a little flavor in there outside of the cheese. But that looks great. Whisk it, incorporate it. And like I said, we're keeping some of that cheese because we're gonna throw this in the oven. Gonna bake it up. Nice Ritz cracker kind of crust topping on it is optional. But my gosh, look at that. All right, I'm gonna whisk this a little bit more, and we're gonna go ahead and assemble this in a 9x13 baking dish. Get it ready for the oven. Preheat your oven to 325, and let's get to baking. Okay, at this point, we're gonna go ahead and pour in some of that cheese sauce, or not some of it, we're gonna pour in all of that cheese sauce in with the macaroni noodles. This is where it kind of starts coming together. Make sure you don't leave any of that cheese behind, guys. You won't regret it. All right, now we're just gonna get in there with the spatula, mix that together. And this is definitely a good amount of sauce because you don't want no dry mac and cheese. We all know that. Look at that. So that looks beautiful. Now let's get that baking dish ready. All right, we're throwing in 3 sleeves of Ritz crackers. And we're just gonna crush those up however you want. You can throw them in a bag. They crush up so easily though. This is gonna make our amazing crust. I just used this as a breading for cracked chicken recipe. Now into that mixture, we're gonna throw in a 1/2 cup of butter because the stick was not enough. So now we gotta throw some more in there. So that's 3 sleeves of Ritz crackers and 1 stick of butter. If that ain't health, I don't know what is. All right, that looks good. Now we're gonna go ahead and layer this bad boy. First step, always very important, spray the pan down. If you do not, this whole recipe is worthless because it is not gonna be fun. Now, we're gonna go ahead and get that mac and cheese. I'm gonna put about half of it in there, spread out a nice layer. And we're almost gonna layer this like a lasagna with cheese in the middle. Because if you just throw cheese on the top, I'm telling you guys, it's not gonna be as cheesy. And who doesn't love cheese? That's why you're having mac and cheese in the first place. So, I'm gonna throw in half of that 3 cups of cheese that you have left over. Looks great. Go in with the rest of that mac and cheese that you got. And then we're just gonna spread this out. 2 layers. Try to get all that sauce out of there that you can. No sense on wasting it. Spread that out a little bit. Nice layer. Perfect. All right, now we're gonna go down with that last bit of cheese we have there. That looks delicious. You can shred more cheese if you want. You can use, of course you can use bags. You don't have to shred your own cheese, but we've went through this before. Shredding your cheese is better because honestly, it melts a lot better. You have more control over the size of it. Just tastes better, it's fresh, you know, guys. That's just the name of the game. Now, we're gonna go on with some of that rich cracker crust. Just dump it on there. This is gonna be perfect. Who doesn't like a nice crunchy top to mac and cheese? Everyone's favorite. You can season up this Ritz if you want. Use the Italian Ritz. Do anything you please. But look at that, amazing. We're gonna pop this in the oven. Man, this has got some weight on her. We're gonna throw that in the oven, 325, 15 minutes. I'll see you guys when she's golden and melted up. All right, guys, we got it in here. I had to turn on the broiler there at the end to get it nice and crispy brown. And that broiler, that goes quick. I only had it on there for 3 minutes. It's already getting nice and dark brown. Let's take a look at that. Beautiful. Perfectly golden brown, crispy. Cheese is melted up nicely. Can't wait to dig in. All right, guys, it's done. It looks amazing. Look at that, guys. And honestly, I'm super excited to try it. Got that nice crust on it. And I know you guys have been waiting for this one. Let's give it a nice test. Has a really delicious flavor. Like I said, depending on the cheese you use, it could completely change the flavor. You can season up those rich crackers. Plenty of things you could do to change the flavor up. But guys, if anything, this is a great base. This is a delicious mac and cheese. You can make it just how I did it, and I guarantee it'll be a hit at your household and or a party setting. Guys, mac and cheese is a great thing to bring to a big party. Bring your own dish. Nice, big aluminum pan full of mac and cheese. It'll be a big hit. Everyone will love it. Don't forget, like, subscribe, check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.